level. Let's get it. Run it up. Check the scope. Money talk, money more. Yeah. Main crew say they weed it. Kicking down the door. Run it up. Check the scope. Money talk, money more. What? Main crew say they with it. Kicking down the door. Let's go. And it's the whole lane when I'm driving the machine.
What is going on? It is a special show for us on this heavy Poor Sports Happy Hour Saturday. So not getting crazy. We're staying professional. We got the polo on today. You even see Mr. Williams got a tie on when I pull him up. But we are very, very blessed to have two Kentucky Wildcat basketball dads on here to talk to us all about Kentucky basketball and then their journey here, to Lexington. But without further ado, I will pull these guys up. Here they are. Let me put you on the top of the show. Gentlemen, sir, Mr. Williams, okay. Mr. Hawthorne, thank you for joining me this evening. How y'all doing tonight?
Appreciate you.
How about now? So you got us? No. That's all right. We'll figure it out. Yeah, absolutely. We've been talking about coming live for a little bit, and I'm glad we were able to finally make this work.
Yes, sir.
No, I just
appreciate you. Appreciate you for having us.
I just can't hear anyone.
You can't hear us?
Can you message them and let them know that you can't hear them?
We can hear that you can't hear us. Maybe connected to Bluetooth or something.
What's going on?
But technical difficulties.
I just send him a text telling him we can hear him.
Okay.
Now we can't hear.
Yeah, he muted himself. There you go. So how about now? You got us?
There we go.
I hear
I
you.
can hear you now. Yeah.
There we go. We got it. We working
Yes,
it
sir.
out.
Wait a minute. It went on and went off.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to.
So I can't hear you right now.
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
Hey, this is perfect. We're in full dad mode right now. This is exactly how it's supposed to start.
For sure.
But
I can't hear you guys.
All right. Well, if he has to drop out and come back on, that's perfectly fine. But
I don't know what's wrong. I can't hear you.
Let me see. And I don't think I can do anything here on mine, but
okay.
We did check this thing before we started. Yeah. That's just kind of how it goes, I think.
I don't know what's wrong.
But that is all right. Yeah, I'll tell him that I'll drop him off for now, and then if he can come back on, does that work?
Okay.
Hopefully,
Hold on.
We could trouble it and
I
see.
heard him.
Because if I remove him, he can still hear us.
Okay.
All right, I'll do that. But I do want to get to the start and talk about Kentucky basketball. But you and I have been kind of talking back and forth and about my son and his journey through basketball. So I really want to start. You got two kids now that are two young men that are playing at the University of Kentucky. So my son's 9. When did you know that oh wow, Bray, Zion, they're special. They might actually be able to do something in basketball. What age did you really start off knowing hey, these two are special? And did you coach them, or did you have to kind of turn the reins over to somebody else? Because that's where I'm struggling right now. Is he's reaching that point where I can't coach him, probably need to hand him off, but I also want to be super involved.
Right. Well, I started coaching them when they were young. They started playing YMCA, I'm thinking 3, 4. Zion was 3, Braden was 4, right around in that time frame. I coached them elementary wise, they had an elementary coach. But I did coach rec leagues and things like that. Now when they got to middle school, I was an assistant coach for AAU program. I kind of backed away, but once they got to high school, I completely backed away, 100%. Yeah.
Gotcha. And then they just start like dominating the other kids they were playing. How did you know? Did you start getting offers very early on? Because I know like, Bray had some big time offers. Committed.
Right.
We'll get into that before he came to Kentucky. But I guess when did you know? And were they multi? The big thing I want to know is were they multi athletes, like multi sport athletes? I mean, or did you say, hey, we just got to focus on basketball? This is what they're really really good at.
So when they were younger, man, they played basketball, baseball, football, soccer. They even ran track. I mean, they did everything. They didn't really focus on one sport until they got to high school.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Sir Greg, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Yeah, all right, that's perfect. Hopefully, it stays that way. We knock on wood. I will not jinx it. But we were just talking about recognizing that your son has special talents and really gifted at the sport of basketball. Did you coach him? And when did you realize that Cam was destined to be a collegiate D1 athlete and play basketball at a high level?
Yes, I did coach him. I coached him early because I wanted to try and make sure that, he had fundamentals. The doctor always said he was in the 97th percentile in terms of size. And we just didn't believe it because he was always so little. But the crazy part is, his brother's real gifted. And his brother was, 40-inch vertical, just a monster. And Cam was always that little kid with the basketball in the gym all the time. And so when Cam was playing, he would always shoot from so far out because his brother would block his shot if he was too close to the goal. So he kept going farther and farther out. And he had a knack for shooting. And then he developed into a pretty good ball player. I thought he could be special as a shooter, but he turned out being pretty good defensively as well. So you kind of see it, especially when they play other kids, and you have to play them up to kind of challenge them, and that's kind of what I'm sure that's what happened with Bray because they just grew exponentially, and then all of a sudden with their skill set and their size, you knew they were going to be special.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess we know why he turned into such a lethal 3-point shooter. We can thank the brother for that one, making him stretch it out. And I did say on a post because you watched Cam play and some of the shots that he was making at Tulane, and admittedly he even admitted like he struggled before the Bellarmine game when he just went nuclear. I was like, brother, you just got to back up. You're shooting too close to the rim. All the ones he was making at Tulane were like 30 feet away. I was like, just extend out. And sure enough, he was just splashing them. That's what he did. He's the opposite. I need to shoot at the rim, make a layup to have an each. He's shooting from the logo.
Yes. Once he got comfortable, I think he was trying to not step on any toes. You have Oway, you have Aberdeen. They're the older guys. They're the leaders. And I think they did a good job of saying, look, Cam, you're not in our way. Do what you do, and we're going to do what we do. And that's how it ended up working out. And he got too comfortable. Started shooting from half court.
Hey, if they go in, shoot them all, Cam. Well, so that what it sounds like to me is that, and this is just me commenting, no comment needed from you guys, that there wasn't a locker room issue with Kentucky basketball this year like the narrative was out there. But we'll just leave that one alone. Sounded like there were boys in the locker room. But
we can touch on it.
Yeah, we can.
You want to touch on it? Oh, let's. Okay,
Yeah.
Gentlemen, please take the floor is yours. The narrative was there was a lot of locker room beef, people not getting along, and that's kind of why there was the weird Louisville game stuff. But not being in there, I try to combat it, saying let's not believe what's on TikTok Live or some comments that kind of grow on the internet, which most things do. But yeah, I would, if you guys have comments on that, please do.
You want that, Walk, or you want me to take it?
You can take it because I'm just gonna say it's completely false.
It's
But you can
100%.
take it. Yeah.
Come on, it's 100% false. These guys hanging out together. Anyone involved in sports, that you battle each other. It's just a team thing. What you're trying to do is battle. You try to come together. Oh, you're not gonna believe this. We're driving, and I think we got stopped by the police.
Oh no!
Oh wow. I see it. Yeah.
So no, but it wasn't a problem at all. It wasn't there was no fighting. There was none of that. I was laughing. I think the Louisville thing was the kids and um the fans, but they don't have any
Oh yeah,
problems with each other.
Yeah.
There wasn't any fights or anything like that. I mean, we were there all the time, practice and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know where that came from. Um, like I said
that's good
before,
to hear. And it seemed pretty far fetched, some of the stories that were coming out. And I think fans who put some of those things out there, um,
Mm.
and I think they don't realize the reach that they have. Like social media is a big thing. And even Otega Owe on the Paramount Plus documentary was like, we see it, and it's just
Right.
dangerous for those lies and rumors to spread,
Right.
because they
Yeah.
just, like I said, they grow legs, and it's not appropriate for one, and it just puts a bad. It's a way to negatively recruit against Kentucky, and it's just unfortunate.
Right. So yeah, the thing on with that as well is like, yeah, when I heard that, I was just like, wow, because I heard that Braden and Denzel had got into it. And I'm just like, I called Braden, I said, you and Denzel fighting over a girl, just picking with him a little bit. And he was like, no, I'm with Denzel right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, wow. And he's like, I don't know where that stuff came from. But, you hear
55,
about locker room issues,
55,
like in the
59.
NBA and stuff like that. So now I question if that's really true. You know what I'm saying? Because there were no issues. Actually, this team got along really well. Um, all of them, they were brothers. You know what I mean? Like they were brothers. This team they were really close. Braden might go. I'll call him. Yesterday or something like that. He's eating with Cam, or he's eating with Jalen, or he's eating with JQ, or I mean, they were all pretty close. Like seriously.
And the thing is, what Olway and Aberdeen would do is challenge the younger guys, trying to get them ready for the SEC ball. And so they would really talk trash. They would play one on one and bang,
Oh
but it
yeah,
was never a fight. I mean, there's nothing like
never.
that. And all they did was get them ready for pre conference. You had Michigan State, St. John's, Gonzaga. You had all those guys, and they're going to be talking trash at the highest level. And then you
Mhm.
have the gauntlet of the SEC. So I guess I don't know where it came from. I guess there are two ways you can handle it. You can address it as it comes.
Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, we lost him, but but yeah, exactly. I mean, you can. I think he's going to say that you can address it out loud, or you can just
There
bury
was
it in
no
this.
conflict. I mean,
Okay.
when you look at the last game they had, they were interviewing the guys in the locker room, and they will say, "What are you going to do now?" And they said, "Look, I want to hurry up and get back so I can hang out with these guys because Owe and Aberdeen, they're leaving. So we want to go to the movie." I know there have been many times that I came to Kentucky. They were going out to eat.
Yeah,
They were hanging out,
all the time. Yeah,
like
that's what
not
I just said.
basketball,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
students, guys, teammates, just not even talking about basketball. So I don't know where it came from, but listen, last year, no problems, none at all.
Right.
That's great to
Oh,
hear.
come on, don't do that to me.
So when we talk about you know, y'all's path to Kentucky, and Bray and Zion and Cam's path to Kentucky,
Mhm.
very, very different between the three. Two brothers and Cam, obviously not related, but
Right.
I'll start with Cam. So top 150 recruit, the highest recruit to ever go to Tulane, right? And does well there. And now all of a sudden, after his freshman year, you find yourself in the
Damn
transfer
it again,
portal
guys.
and able to uh, transfer to Kentucky. Can you talk about that process of going through the transfer portal, and agents are working with you, and Cam talked about how
Oh, we lost him.
lost him again. All right, that's okay.
It's all
I'm
good.
I'm pretty good, I think, at this, so I'll transition over. So
Okay.
we'll start with Bracer, if you don't mind.
Right.
We got Braden Hawthorne, top 30 recruit.
Hmm.
He is out there and commits to West Virginia, and
Right.
DeVries ends up leaving and
Right.
goes to Indiana, and now his recruitment opens up. And he had reclassed, right?
Back when he was in middle school, yes.
Right. So he had reclassed. So really, like he is his what would have been his senior year of high school was his freshman year of college at Kentucky.
No, that's not right. No, that's not right.
No, I'm sorry.
That's not correct.
So
no, he did 4 years.
How did that reclass work?
He did 4 years of high school and then he went straight to college.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I thought when he skipped a year in middle school, or how did that work? How did the reclass work?
No, actually, he was held back his 8th grade year.
Okay. So, but when you decommit from West Virginia, and the schools that are coming after him, I think Duke was in his top 5, Virginia Tech was in his top 5.
Yeah.
How does it work with? And how did it come to Kentucky being the choice? I know he was a childhood fan. I get that, but to be like, we're going to redshirt you here. You're not going to play. And then you hopefully are one of the guys coming into your, second year.
Right.
What about Pope was the selling factor, and Kentucky was the selling factor to get him to take Kentucky over a big school like Duke?
Well, for him, I would say that one of the main things were, him and Coach Pope stayed in contact a lot. So another thing was too, and a lot of people don't know this, even before he committed to West Virginia, he played that last year of AAU. I think it was his 11th grade, after he finished 11th grade, going into his senior season. Coach Hart was the first person out of a P4 school to reach out. So he reached out, spoke, we stayed in contact or whatnot. And then I would say he kept, hitting us up, talking. Him and Braden would talk. And then he was just like, hey, we gotta get the boss up there to come see you at practice, and so we were just waiting. And in the meantime, West Virginia came in and they actually got to him first, and Braden liked it, and he didn't want to wait anymore, so he decided to commit. Then the things happened with West Virginia where, Coach DeVries left. And when we opened up our recruitment, first call we got was Jason Hart. Coach Hart. So Coach Hart was the first person to reach out. Coach Pope had seen it. Actually, they were at the March Madness was going on at the time. They were on the bus when he seen it. I can remember it. And he told Jason to give us a call. So Jason called us or whatnot. We continued. We built a relationship with them. Coach Brooks played a big part too. Coach Brooks, he played a real big part. McHale played a part. All of them played a part. Coach Fox, Coach Cody, like everybody played a part in it. Coach Pope would FaceTime Braden every day. So I think that's what, made the difference. Now he knew going in there was a possibility of him redshirting. So he understood that. Because everybody knew he needed to get stronger. You know what I mean? So he understood that. We knew it was a possibility on redshirt, and it's a possibility he might not redshirt. So we were going, back and forth with it, and he just thought that was the best opportunity for him. So, he wanted to do it. So I agree with him, and he did it.
Right.
So thank you, sir, for that. And Mr. Williams, I was asking about, so you had a different path at Kentucky, while, Cam was the highest rated player to commit to Tulane. He was a top 150 recruit at the time.
Yes.
And then he plays well. He hits the transfer portal, comes to Kentucky. Can you walk us through? Because I think the average fan, including myself, I don't really know how that works. Like, are you getting contact before the portal, or the agent that represents Cam is like, hey, this is what is potentially out there for you? Or is it, I know I had a good year, I'm going to enter the portal and then see what happens? And then as you go through, how does that work, especially now in the NIL era? Like, how does it land to a lot of schools? Louisville, there were big time schools coming after Cam, and
Yes.
Fortunately, Coach Pope was able to get him. But how's that process work?
Well, the first thing you do is put your name in the portal. And once you put your name in the portal, then everybody can start contacting you personally. And so, everyone makes calls. And I think Kentucky was the first team to reach out. We spoke to Coach Pope. Coach Brooks is a good friend of mine. He actually recruited his older brother for Baylor. And so all the schools call. And you let everyone kind of tell you the plans that they have for him, and he listened. But I didn't find out till later that he was really partial to Kentucky. Kentucky is a dream school, and he listened to everyone else, but he only heard Kentucky.
All
So
right. I love that. I
he said he
love
only
that.
heard them. And when it got down to it, we did a Zoom call, and he really loved the whole staff participating, and he committed just a few days later. And when we did a visit, it was really just to see what the facilities were like because he was already committed, 100%. It's a crazy process because you get calls from everywhere, and you really just have to trust the people you're dealing with because you never know. Walt was saying, he knew it was possible, but that Bray could be redshirted, but that may not even be a discussion sometimes. And it ends up coming up when they commit and they get there. So hats off to Kentucky for being honest and saying, hey, look, we don't know. He could be a team player or he could be a red shirt. And so, they said, Cam, hey, if you come here and do your thing, you have an opportunity to play. And that's all he needed. Contrary to
Yeah.
popular belief, they don't promise you, they don't guarantee you time and minutes. You got to get
Yeah.
out there and learn it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not what you did at Tulane, it's what you're going to do at Kentucky.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah. No.
process, like I said, he got a lot of calls and didn't want to go anywhere. He just wanted to go to Kentucky.
He's right. The calls do get crazy. Like the calls
Yes,
get crazy. So like
calls,
even
text.
right when Braden had decided that he wanted to come to Kentucky and we hadn't committed yet, you know what I'm saying? He was really like there was other schools that was reaching out and that wanted him to come on visits, and he was like, Dad, I don't want to take any more visits. I'm done taking visits.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pick from these 5 schools and go from there. Like, I mean, yeah, it got pretty crazy. Like, yeah. So what Greg is saying, it gets hectic. I haven't tried to. I mean, we haven't been in the portal, so I couldn't tell you how that goes. But I can tell you the recruiting stuff was, yeah, it was wild.
So I was going to bring that up later, but you just mentioned it. So
Hmm.
Bray, the official announcement came out pretty late after the portal had opened, and it
Right.
was with Zion's commitment.
Hmm.
So you're not officially in the portal, but is there like whispers? Like can you tell me? Is there whispers of like, hey, Bray would have been a top 30 transfer guy. Like if he would have entered the portal, people would have sought him out for a 6'9" guy, 7'3" wingspan, all the things that Coach Pope loves about him, the whole staff loves about him. Like,
Right.
is there a temptation of like, man, we could potentially hit the portal and make some NIL money or get an opportunity at a great school? Or was his commitment late just to do it with Zion and it wasn't about maybe looking at other options? Because I know me personally, I
Hmm.
love Bray. I think he's going to be. I mean, you see some of my videos about. I think he's going to be very special at
Right.
Kentucky, like a guy that's getting slept on a lot because we didn't watch him play last year.
For
But
sure.
I was even getting nervous and like, man, is he thinking about leaving?
Nah.
I can't do
When
this.
when you when you hit me up, no. So to be honest with you, it had been done. We were just going through the process of as far as getting like the legal stuff done, like on the legal side of it, aspect of it, like the contract and stuff like that. But it had been done for a while, you know what I mean? We're just
Okay,
private people. We didn't want to put it out there yet, you know what I mean? So but it had been done. Braden wanted to be back in Kentucky. He made it obvious. The staff wanted him back, and so that was the plan all along. Um, he wanted to stay in Kentucky, so that's what it was. It just took a while for the business part of it, for us to announce it or whatnot, to sign or whatnot. It wasn't nothing crazy, nothing like that. But yeah,
okay. So can you talk about the Zion recruitment?
right,
Because that was something that there was very now the whole staff throughout the whole process since Pope's got here has worked in silence. You don't hear a lot.
right,
Zion commits. Now you got two sons get to come up in Kentucky. I'm sure that you're full of pride there, but we didn't
right.
really know much as a fan base. So how did
Mhm.
that whole recruitment go to where he could find himself as a long-term project at Kentucky?
So it started at the beginning of the season. I was sending film. Zion didn't get to play AAU basketball his last year. He had hurt his back. I would say it was the end of his junior year. But he still played through it. It was still hurting, so we decided to sit him out his whole that whole summer. So he didn't get to play any. So that was one thing. Nobody really got to see him because of that. So we
Yeah,
had some catching up to do. So what I was doing is just sending film out to coaches and other coaches that I knew and things of that nature. I did know it would be beneficial for him to come as a 13th to 15th guy, just to help out the team, you know what I mean? And develop at the same time too, because let you know, Zion is no slouch. People don't know him, but he is no slouch at all. I'm telling you that now.
love it.
Um, so people will people be pretty surprised about what they'll hear about Zion, to be honest with you. So yeah.
Now, and personally, so you see some of the film that got out there once he committed. He's got range, and I loved his confidence. I think it was the interview he did with, was it Cutler? He did an interview with somebody,
Yeah,
and I
Bach.
read
Yeah,
it. Was it okay?
yeah,
And he was like, "I'm a true point guard." Like he was laying out like himself, and at that level, you got to be confident. But there was
right.
no like, yeah, I'm just happy to be here. No, he was like, I'm supposed to be here, and that's what you got to have. So I super love that confidence that he had, and hopefully he does surprise folks. And it's nice to have someone with some continuity there, right? It's I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
overrated, or I'm sorry, underrated right now.
right.
Where I hate this dude because he played for Tennessee, but Zakai Ziegler, like look what he did for Tennessee, spending a
Right.
whole lot of time in developing there. Like you would like to have that at a program, and potentially that's what Zion brings, and I think that's a great pickup from Pope.
So,
You can never have too many ball handlers on a roster. Can never have
you're
too many
right.
ball handlers on a
Yeah,
roster.
you're right. So
But
I'll tell you this, like both of them have always felt like they've been underrated. So they always feel like they got something to prove.
stacking
So,
chips.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, you'll see that with Zion, and you're gonna definitely see that with Braden this year. You're gonna see he's gonna show everybody he has something to prove. You know what I mean? So, oh yeah, yeah. They both work really hard, man, really hard.
I I am very excited for both Bray and Cam, and then Zion to get some playing time. But with Bray and Cam on the roster last year, you saw when Cam broke out of his shell, and then unfortunately had the foot injury.
Yes.
Right.
But he can be a true three-level scorer. Now he's going to be a sniper for Kentucky like that. I think that's what everybody has in their mind. But you see some of the athleticism that he brings, the length. Greg, sir, you mentioned it. He's a true like 3-and-D guy. Like his ability to guard the best player on the floor is there, which is huge. These two together, there's been some frustration with the fan base because there hasn't been the quote unquote splash portal get right. There's been some folks that have come and visited. We haven't got them. But if you go and look at what these two players would have been, Cam and Bray, like I said, Bray would have been a top 30. They both would have been top 30 to 50 transfer portal guys. So if any other school would have got them in the portal, their fan base would have been ecstatic. Pope retained him, but no one really
Right.
thinks about that because they've been there, or we haven't maybe seen Bray and what
What?
he can do on the court real time.
What they talking about?
Right, right. Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. Nobody hasn't
Yeah.
had they haven't seen Braden yet. And all I can tell you guys is just get ready. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Get ready. You know what I'm saying? He's been working. Been working really hard. And I can tell you this too. He's not coming home this summer at all. So
he's
that
just
just
in the
lets you know
lab.
what he
He's in the
yeah.
lab.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I said, Brady, you gonna come home for like a week or so? He was like, no, he's gonna come home for Zion's graduation for like a couple days, and then he's back. He's going back, and he will report to Lexington when they report in June. But he's in the gym. He's not coming home. Yeah,
How
he's
is he?
super
How is he
focused.
managing the extra weight? So like he's used to playing.
Mhm.
Is he? Is he be able to handle it well as his body matures, putting on the extra weight? It seemed like a slower process, which I think is good.
Right,
I'm big into the health and fitness. That's kind of my niche.
right.
So like the fact that you did it slow over a full season, I think is great. And obviously he's going to have the best nutritionist and athletic trainers at Kentucky. But how is he
Right.
handling the weight and able to get to his spots? And is he learning to kind of throw it around and ready for SEC ball?
He is. I can tell you right now, he is ready. I can tell you that with full
Oh,
confidence that
I'm so
he's ready.
excited.
Yeah, he is ready. I can tell you that with full confidence that he's ready. And I'll tell you this too, and a lot of people don't know this. People are like, oh, he got to get stronger, this, that, and the other. He's been working, and not only that, he played with Owe. Him and Owe played 1-on-1 every day. So he has no choice
Mm-hmm.
on how to figure things out. You got what I'm saying? So
Yep.
yeah. So I will tell you, he's ready, and it's not just from him telling me this. He's ready. Yeah,
Yes. Oh my
yeah.
goodness, I'm so excited. And I hope everybody watching right now, and this is gonna spread far and wide as best as I can. I'm gonna get it out there. But I hope everybody listens to this truly and is ready for the show because I'm very much excited. Sir,
Oh yeah.
if Mr. Williams, if you gotta dip out, I completely
Yeah,
understand.
let me call you right back.
Okay.
Oh wow, they
Damn.
had him outside. Look like they had him
I
out there.
know. Yeah, I was about to.
Wow.
I'm an MP in the Marine Corps. I was about to be like,
Okay.
hey, just tell him to put me on the phone, man. Basically,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a provost marshal, so I kind of run like it's like a chief of police for the base, essentially. Like,
Gotcha.
man, leave this guy alone. We're in the middle of an interview
Yeah,
talking about
right.
Kentucky ball. Daggum.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes, sir.
uh,
Yeah.
but so when you look at the roster construction right now, right? You know
Right.
all the pieces to it. You're just talking about how great Bray is going to be, how he's ready to fulfill the moment.
Right.
You look at the guards we brought in.
Hmm.
What do you think that is the true like realistic capabilities of this team? Because there is a narrative out there that Pope is kind of on the hot seat, right? The great
Hmm.
first year bringing a team in within 6 weeks and beating teams like Duke and Gonzaga, get to a Sweet 16, and then last
Right.
year was a little bit disappointing with some of the losses, and without Otega Owe, we don't even make it past the first game of the tournament.
Right.
So we're a rabid fan base, sir. Like I'm sure you know that by now. Like it's got to be damn near perfect for us to be even remotely happy, and if it's not, we kind of like crumble.
Right.
So it's just kind of how it goes. But what do you think this is a team that can, do what I'm hoping and praying for is to revitalize the faith in Pope and be like, oh, this is the coach that we welcomed in with 25,000 people in Rupp Arena and thought was going to be the next great one for Kentucky, the assignment 9 and all those things.
Right. I mean, to be honest with you, I think so. I trust Coach a lot. I think he's got the players that he wants to fit his system. You got what I'm saying? So,
Yes.
with his system, I think it'll be good fun to watch this year. You know what I mean? Um, People can sit there and say star power. I get that, but at the end of the day, you might have a couple stars on this team that people just don't know about.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And maybe that's one of the reasons, as far as that goes. But I think all these kids that can play, at the end of the day, and people's like, oh, I just don't know about this roster. But I was talking to somebody the other day. How do you know if you're not going out to evaluate these kids? You got what I'm saying? Like, we can watch film on them all day long. The coaches go out, they go and evaluate them. They see what they need. They think, hey, this kid can fit with us. I've seen kids that were top 50 kids, and a coach like say, I don't like that kid. He don't fit my system. You know what I mean? So I mean, you got to think about things that as well. You know what I mean? Is Do you want the top 50 kid, or do you want to win? You know what I mean? I think the roster that he's constructing, then I think they're going to be really competitive. I really do. And people. are sleeping. And I will tell you this, and I'll go on record and say it right now. People saying, "Oh, they worried about that 3 spot." Don't be worried about that 3 spot at all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, don't worry about that 3 spot at all. Don't worry about that 3 spot. You know, a lot of people are sleeping on Cam and Braden, both of them. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, hey, you don't have to sleep on them two. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now. You know, um, and if I'm wrong, you can come back and come get me. But all I'm telling you is, don't don't sleep on them. I'm telling you now. Yep.
Well, you watch the film that is out there and the recruiting videos from when Braden was, locked into West Virginia and then left. The high school film, the AAU film. It's just so natural to him, like scoring and
Right.
his length is incredible and he can stretch the floor. He is. I don't know if you saw the video that I made, but I went back and watched some Brandon Ingram film, and it made me feel a little dirty because he's a Duke guy, and I cannot stand Duke.
Right.
But you watch how Brandon Ingram played, and same kind of body style. He was a little bit thicker when he first got into college, but
Right.
everything was just natural to him. His length, he had handles, like he could shoot the three, he could get inside, he could get offensive rebounds, he could play defense. And I'm like, we got this dude on our roster right now. Like that is Braden Hawthorne in my mind. And I'm no scout. I'm just a fan who loves basketball. But I watch it and I go, that's his potential right now. And if he is that dude or better, then you're right. The 3 spot is secure, and he's going to be special, and he's going to be waking some folks up this year when he's knocking on the door of all SEC teams.
Right. And his assistant coaches, he used to play for Team Durant. Kevin Durant's dad was his coach 1 year for AAU. Coach Wayne, tip my hat off to him. But some of the other coaches on the staff used to call him BI, baby BI. So that's exactly what they called him.
I feel so validated right now.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, man, that's that's super exciting. But what before I don't want to take up too much of your time.
Oh no, you good.
What do you think Zion's role will be this year and in the future? Like you said, it'd be good for him to be the 13th, 15th man on the roster, but then you also said like he's being slept on. Like he's got talent. He can play.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Do you see him knocking on the door this year, or do you think he's going to be maybe the same sort of? Do you think he gets redshirted, or do you think he maybe gets an opportunity to play? And do you think he is a year one holy hell where he's impressing the staff, guy on the floor, or do you think he's a year 2, 3 kind of guy that we should see later on down the line?
Well, I think with him as well, like he has to get stronger too. You know what I mean? Like there's no question. Like he has to get stronger. But I do think skill wise, he's super skilled. Zion is super skilled. He's super competitive. So his thing is really like his role is to come in this year basically and help the team any way he can. Being on scout team. Helping them prepare, getting ready for games. You know what I mean? And at the same time, he's gonna continue to work on his game. So. That's the plan. You never know. You know what I mean? You never know. I'm just telling you, people don't sleep on. I mean, that's up to coach. At the end of the day, but he's a kid that can definitely play, man. Definitely play, and is confident about it too. Like you said, he's super confident. Yeah, he is.
Which you gotta have on this level for sure. Yeah. Like you gotta have a confidence in yourself because it's gonna be, we have, unfortunately, and I'll knock on wood here, but we have been plagued with injuries the last couple of years. And like you said, you never know if he gets thrusted onto the court and be like, hey, you got to go be PG1. You want a dude who's like, yeah, coach, I got it. No worries. I'm ready.
So, he's super smart. Like he figures things out like really quickly. He grasps concepts really well. Like he's super smart. Like when I mean like he's a true point guard, he is really a true point guard. But again, I'll tell people this, like I don't teach my kids to play a certain position. I've taught them to be basketball players. So, you can play multiple positions. Like Braden can probably play 1 through 4 right now. Just to let you know. Like he could play 1 through 4.
Are you telling me we're going to see Cam and Bray on the floor at the same time, sir?
Don't be surprised. I can't answer
Don't
that.
be, don't be
Don't be
surprised.
surprised. You know what I'm saying? I can't answer that. I'm not on the coaching staff, but I wouldn't be surprised if you see them on the floor together.
But
100%.
the you did mention that the wing spot, like you saw some fans like, man, we don't have that guy. But
Right.
Also the 4 spot was a question mark.
Hmm.
Maybe Cam Bray play that 4, but then we also bring in
Right.
Usman Jai and
Yeah.
McBride.
Right. Yeah.
What do you think about their games? And obviously you're clearly in tune with Pope wants to do. You talk about his system. These are 2
Right.
guys. Usman super athletic. McBride's a spot up shooter, kind of bigger guy.
They can both
he's
shoot
maybe
it.
both can shoot it. And
Right.
I would say McBride, in my opinion, is that maybe doesn't have the same motor that Mo Diabate had. Like that, he would just make plays. I love Mo.
I did too.
But
Yeah.
McBride's better offensively, arguably, than Mo was. So that which plays into Pope's system. So what do you think about that 4 spot and these guys coming in?
I think those were key spots that he wanted to make sure that he had right, because at the end of the day he's gonna want to spread the floor. He's gonna get out and run. I think he's gonna be able to do that. I think you're gonna be able to see different things that he's gonna be able to do with this lineup. To be honest with you, there's a lot of different things I think you can see with this lineup. I mean, I like the pieces a lot, to be honest with you. I do. And I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. I've seen on social media like, I don't know, this, that, and the other. I get it, but I'm telling you, just on what I know, just based off of, I know my son's capabilities, I know what Cam's capabilities are. We're gonna be just fine. We're gonna be fine. McBride, Zoom, Wilkins, uh, Moreno. And I'm gonna tell you another person that people are sleeping on, and nobody's talking about him.
Reese
Is
Potter.
Reese Potter.
Yes, sir.
Reese Potter, 7-footer that can shoot it. Quit sleeping on him. And Trent Noah, boy's a
Yeah,
shooter.
Mount Mamba, let's go.
Stop. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, I feel real good about the roster. You know what I mean. I was talking to a coach, even Mason Williams. I was talking to a power forward coach a while back. I'm friends with a lot of coaches, and he told me, he was like, "Man, I like that kid. That kid can play. He's a dog." So
Mhm.
people are sleeping on him just because he was committed to play for his dad. That maybe he wanted to play for his dad. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But no, from what I was told, that this kid can really play. So I mean, people just relax a little bit. I can tell you, I understand. We wanna win championships, but that's what the goal is. They're gonna try to win the championship this year. It is not, hey, we're gonna try to be okay. No, they want to win. I can tell you, Braden wants to win a championship. I know that the other kids that Coach Pope is recruiting want to win the championship. Cam wants to win the championship. I know that for Malachi Moreno wants to win the championship. Trent Noah wants to win the championship. Reese Potter wants to win the championship. So these guys are going to work really hard to show people, hey, we're here. We're here. You can rank us 45th right if you want to right now. Hey, that's
Mhm.
okay. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's fine. You know, that's okay. All we're using it as is motivation.
Yeah, I love that. In last year, we might have got a little bit too big for our britches, right? We had all these pieces and we thought we were going to be great, and you got to go
Right.
play the games, right? And
Right.
this team reminds me a lot of year one's team, not necessarily the pieces, but like you mentioned, the underdog
Right.
stories, right? You,
Right.
you had Lamont Butler, who'd been to a Final Four, so
Right.
he's the dog on the team, right? Like he's going to be a true leader. But
Mhm.
then everybody else, Amari Williams from Drexel, like who? That was similar
Right.
to Cam. That was the first guy Pope went out and got in the portal, which tells you he's special, right? So
Right.
obviously this is somebody that Pope wants. It was Amari Williams that year. Then he comes here, and we got a 7'1" guy who's one of the best assist men in college basketball. You're like, what in the world? Where this guy? How did he go to Drexel? Like, how did Pope pluck him out? Same with guys like Kobe Bryant. Now, obviously, he was one of the greatest shooters in the country, but
Mhm.
he's sitting there at Dayton. He comes on the team. Kirk Kriisa unfortunately gets hurt, but Otega Oweh, like if you would have gone back 2 years and told fans that Otega Oweh is the most important get for Coach Pope in his first 2 years, I don't think anybody would have believed you because he was just kind of a bruiser, get downhill. He wasn't polished, and what he did for Kentucky in those first 2 years was incredible. It probably saved Pope from even more unfortunate slander when it comes to game-winning plays in the SEC tournament, the NCAA tournament. It was special. So, but all these guys had something in common: is they were slept on. They came to Kentucky because it's Kentucky. They came to Kentucky because they believed in Pope, but they wanted to play on the biggest stage possible, show that I'm a dog. Like I'm a baller. Like I'm here. This isn't a fluke. I'm representing the front of this jersey for a reason. I think we have that so strong with this team that's coming in next season.
I think you're right. And you got to think about this too. How many people thought when Oweh came he was going to be that guy?
No. He was just an athlete. Like he was just going to be an athlete. He was the brother of a defensive end. Hey, we got a strong guy who can dribble the ball and get downhill. Not someone who was going to be the guy, SEC Player of the Year preseason type guy.
And you know what he said? I'm going to show everyone.
Yep.
And
so Bray's saying the same thing? You tell me Bray's saying the same thing?
I'm telling
buddy.
He's saying the same thing. And I'm telling you, Oweh took Braden underneath his wing. And they and I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like a lot. Like, I mean, Braden learned a lot from a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it was just Oweh, but like, I mean, they all took Braden underneath their wing, from Oweh to Jalen Lowe, BG. I mean, everybody, Mo, you know what I mean? Like they were all close and they took Braden underneath their wing, man. I'm telling you. So, and Braden's just like the same thing with like Oweh. Hey, I'm gonna show everybody. That's his motto. Like he's always been that underdog, like having to show. So like he's good with this. He's good. Like the position that he's in right now was because his motto is just wait. Yep, just wait. So, oh yeah.
Yeah, well, I already know we're gonna be. Me and Jay are gonna be going to the shop and getting some Braden Hawthorne gear because you get it now before it's sold out. I'm gonna have to make sure I get my jersey because I just and like I said, I've been on it and I'm hoping I continue my streak. Last season when we were on the show, me and Selena, who we do the All UK Ball podcast with, everybody was sleeping on Malachi Moreno. Like no one thought he was going to be one of the best centers in the country, one of the best centers in the SEC. And I was just like, you just look how natural the game is for him. He's already so big at this age. He knows how to throw his body around, and it took him some time to get used to it. But when he was in SEC play, he was a dude, right?
Right.
And I just, again, watching Braden Hawthorne play and a full year of in the system, knowing what Pope wants, knowing how Pope thinks, like that's huge. That is massive to have that continuity and to have the skill set he has. Like that's why I put it out there very, very early, so no one can call me a bandwagon guy of like Braden Hawthorne is going to be a dude.
I would say this, and it's not. I'm not just saying all this just based off what he's told me. I've seen film. I've seen the practice film. He's ready, for sure.
Man, we better see da-na-nut, Braden Hawthorne over and over and over again, just doing I'm just
a firm believer, man. Like he just got to keep working, and that's for anybody. To get to where you want to go, you got to keep working. You know what I mean? Like he just can't stop working and say, "Oh, I'm gonna go in there and be the man." No, he has to continue working. He knows that, and that's why he's bought into just like, I'm not coming home. I'm working every day. I'm ready to get to work. You know what I mean? So, he's getting ready to go out to California to train, and I talked to him today, and I was like, he's still in Lexington right now, and I said, I asked him, I said, "Hey, what are you up to?" He said, "Ready to go, ready to get up out of here." He's ready to go train, man. So, yeah,
where in
he's
Cali?
been in the gym. It's like 30 minutes out of LA or somewhere, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm in San Diego right now. So
are you? Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
am. I got another. I leave here to go back to the East Coast, June 22nd ish. So I'm
Okay.
looking forward to get back to being back. I'm an East Coast guy. This California living ain't for me.
This
Six
is
dollars
not
a
for you.
gallon ain't for me. It is
Oh
not for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, I hear that.
But well, I mean, I won't track his playing. If I did, I might just show up. But Bray, hey, what's up, dude?
Nah, he's gonna be in California for a little bit, and then he'll come back. Zion's graduation, then he's going to Miami to train. So like, yeah, he like I said, he's not playing when it comes to
Full
he's
on
really
business.
trying to win, man. Yeah, he's all about business. He's trying to win. He wants to make everyone proud, man. Like I said, he loved, Kentucky was his favorite basketball team growing up. And to win a for him to win a championship for Kentucky would mean the world to him. You know what I mean? I'm sure it would mean the world to the fans too, winning a
Oh my
championship.
goodness.
You know what I mean? So I mean that's just his plan. That's his goal. His goal is to try to win a championship. It's not his goal is not, oh, I'm just gonna try to settle to win the SEC. No, he's trying to win a championship, man. Yeah. Yeah, he's hungry for that. He's been hungry for that for a while. You know what I mean? So yeah, he didn't get a chance to win like a national championship in high school. Um, and then he played 2 years of high school basketball for public school here in West Virginia, and he didn't get a chance to make it to states. So he has a chip on the shoulder for that. You know what I mean? So all that stuff. Winning a championship does matter. Some people think to some of these kids that championships don't matter, but I can tell you for this kid, it does matter.
Yes, and I mean playing for his dream school, having a chip on it, like he's got the right mindset. Sounds like and I'm sure he got that from you, being
Yeah.
driven. It's a family affair there for you guys too, right? So it's like he's going to eventually pass the torch to Zion, so he wants to leave a good product. Like everything there for Braden and Zion, and to have a legacy at Kentucky is huge. And you're right. I'm sure it will mean something to him.
Hmm.
Um, but his basketball journey won't stop at Kentucky. If
Right.
he's able to accomplish that for the fan base right now with Pope, like with the guy who gets he gets shit on a lot, unfortunately, by
He
some,
does.
but
He does.
I believe that even those folks want him to be successful, right? They just for some reason
Right.
have so much hate in their heart they got to let it out on X. I don't understand it, but
Right.
like I think even the ones that do hate on him want him to be successful because he's a Kentucky guy, right? He
Right.
captain of a championship team, bringing back Rick Pitino, all the things. If Braden can do that, and what it would mean to the fan base, I can't even describe it. Like I got to
Right.
witness the championship in 2012, and ever since then, really, and I have my son now, and since he's been able to watch basketball and understand basketball, he's been a
Hmm.
Kentucky fan because I forced him to be. Right, he's had no choice. Like
Right.
you're going to be a
Right.
Kentucky fan, and every year ends in tears, where he
Yeah.
just wants the team to go, and this team is supposed to be great,
Right.
especially in the era before Pope, and
Hmm.
we just don't understand why we can't have the tournament success. If Braden can get us over that hump, I'm telling you, like what it would mean to the fan base, and it sounds like he understands that.
Right.
I can't describe it, but it would mean the world to the entire state of Kentucky and nationally, because Big Blue Nation is just that. It expands the entire
Exactly.
nation.
Right.
But yeah, and everything that you said for us, and you're essentially just echoing what Bray is telling you and how you truly feel about the roster. I
Yeah.
hope the people who are watching it live now and will see it once it's posted have some faith in Pope and this roster, and we'll just kind of take a deep breath. Hey, we got a lot of time until basketball actually starts, and guess what? You can't win a championship in May.
You
You
can't.
cannot
You
do it.
can't. No, you can't. And actually, I was talking to some coaches too. I mean, you win that championship. I mean, if you clicking in March, that's what really matters.
Yeah.
If you're clicking in March, that I mean that matters. That matters big time. You know what I mean? So, um, and to Coach Pope's, defense. I mean, I think if the kids didn't get hurt this year, I think we probably would have had a championship this year. To be honest with you, I really do. I mean, you got to think. I mean, it was tough situation. People say, well, that doesn't matter. It does matter.
Yeah,
When when you got JQ who didn't get to play, you know what I mean, and you got J Lo who supposed to be your point guard. Denzel came in and did a great job. But that wasn't the role Denzel was supposed to play. You know what I'm saying? So
exactly.
I mean, you got to think about those things. I really think if we were at full strength, we would have we would have turned some heads even more. And then another thing is, how hard is it to win a national championship? Think about that. Think about that. How hard is it to win a national championship? You want to do it,
Yeah,
and that's the goal. But how hard is it to win a national championship? It's hard.
yeah.
It's
And just look at the schools who have multiple. Like the just getting one is hard enough. To get multiple is exponentially harder. And to have 8 and potentially hang 9 is why Kentucky basketball
yeah,
is what Kentucky basketball is.
exactly. And then that's the thing, man. Like if you can win that number 9, that would be nice, man. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Man, boy,
Just go
I'll
ahead and
be
pick your
partying for
plot of land
days.
wherever you want to live in Lexington. Just go and pick it out now because it's going to happen. Yeah,
You said it's
Bray
gonna
gets
happen,
number
huh?
9. You the keys to the city, whatever you need, man. I got a house in Richmond. I'll give you. It's not as great as Lexington, but whatever
I
it
got you.
takes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. Like I really do think, if they come in and work, it's possible. I do. I really do. Like, I mean, the whole team. And Coach Pope goes out and gets good guys. You know what I mean? So you're not gonna have to worry about, they're gonna be in the gym, like they're gonna be working hard. You know what I'm saying? So I know that I know that a lot of these kids do work, and I've heard like the Wilkins kid, he works hard too. You know what I mean? And I think people will be excited by him. I think people are going to be excited about a lot of these kids. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be fun. You know what I mean? But I really do. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I just think if you put in the work, hey, good things will happen to those who put in work, man.
No, absolutely. And I think the sum of its parts, this team will come together, everybody playing for each other, having one goal is huge, right?
Hmm.
And you want stars, right? And
Right.
again, no disrespect, we just don't know, right?
Right.
I believe in my heart, Brayton Hawthorne's that guy, but
Right.
outside of that, if you don't have a star, right, you don't have a top 10 guy or top 10 portal guy, then you feel a certain way, and you see Tennessee and Louisville, right, getting all these things, you think
Hmm.
you're behind the 8 ball, but the team coming together, playing for a purpose, having multiple guys who can score, having guys who had the confidence to go score, but also had the humility to pass the rock, share it, and think about the team. I think that's
Right.
huge, right? To be able to,
Right.
in the moment, Pope doesn't have to go to a guy. He's got
Right.
5 guys that he can go to,
Five
right?
guys.
Or maybe
Right.
4 guys,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Before we close out, sir, I would like
Hmm.
to ask, because you mentioned Pope a lot, and it
Hmm.
seems like you have faith in him. I'll be careful how I ask this question. There is a thought in the fan base that he isn't a good recruiter. The infrastructure at Kentucky isn't good, between not having a GM, the JMI deals and whatnot, and that's what's keeping us from getting one of these top guys.
Hmm.
As someone who has been with Braden and been with Zion and been on the recruiting trail, and and now the new staff with Mo and McLean and those folks, can you talk about like how they recruit? Your belief in them. That Pope's not just some weirdo who just pushes kids away. Which is the narrative. Can you
Right.
talk about that, and what do you think his strengths are in recruiting? And do you think he can be one of the better recruiters in the country?
I think he can be, to be honest with you. He works really hard. From what Braden told me, like he works really hard. I don't know if you've seen that video with Braden and Cam. They were out. I mean, they were talking on a TikTok live talking about, Coach Paul. Like he works really hard. One thing I can say about some of this stuff though is, and I can't speak on like Coach Pope and their recruiting because I'm not there like when they're recruiting these other kids or whatnot. But I can tell you that there are a lot of kids out here that get bad advice, and if you don't have parents like myself or Greg, you can get very bad advice. So it might not be necessarily Coach Pope, you know what I'm saying, as far as that goes. Um, I can tell you that for sure that, a lot of these kids have agents. Let's call it what it is. You know what I mean? A lot of these kids have agents. If you don't have a good agent, you can get super bad advice. Because the
Mm-hmm.
business side of it, you can get real bad advice. And the agent is not thinking about fit or any of that. The agent is thinking about where you can
His
get the
bank
most
account.
money.
Yep.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, and that happens a lot. I've seen it a lot. I mean, this last little bit, I've seen it. I've talked to several people like, if you got a bad agent, that's an issue as well too. And then, you know, backdoor deals are being made too. You know what I mean, with agents and coaches. You got what I'm saying? So,
Yep.
I mean, it's the truth. You know what I mean? It's the truth. And so those are things that people just don't know. Um, I do think Coach Pope. If we didn't think Coach Pope was a good coach and we didn't believe in Coach Pope, we wouldn't be. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now.
Yes, sir.
Braden would have been in the portal, and we would have been gone.
Yes, sir.
But that's not the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
You know. So
Yeah. I think that's more powerful than you probably know to the fan base, because there is a lot of folks who don't think he is a good coach, and they lean on the 15, 16, 18 point deficits at times,
right,
and which is unfortunate and it's frustrating in the first half. But my
it is
argument is good coaches don't figure out how to win those games. And more
right.
often than not, Coach Pope figures out how to win those games,
He
right? And
does
Michigan
right.
State being, Michigan State, Gonzaga last year being outliers, really, when you look at, some of the down 14 points, down 16 points to Tennessee. We won both those games this year.
Right.
Even in a season that's quote unquote disappointing,
Hmm.
you win those two games, which are huge to the fan base. Down 18 against Louisville, and you're 1-1 away from Jaden Lowe tying that game up, right? So,
Right.
good coaches and good staffs don't go in halftime and shit. Go, oh my god, how do they just like we? All right, start thinking about next game. That's right.
Right. Right.
Think about the next
right.
game.
Right. Right. Right.
Get the
Right.
staff
Yeah.
on, looking at whatever. It's like, no, these guys are able to adjust, and Pope was able to use that freaking doctor brain and dissect and come out and get a win, or at least be in a close game down the stretch. So I do believe that he's a great X and O coach. I do think he's unique in how
Hmm.
he coaches, and how he communicates to the fan base, and how he kind of big brains everything and the
Hmm.
analytics and whatnot. But you got to be unapologetic yourself. The one thing that I do like about Pope is that
Right.
he is not changing. Like, the fan
Right.
base and national media beat him up last year when he was talking to the fan base like he was a fan after a loss. Like, he was
Right.
so like down on himself, emotions on his sleeve, and everybody's like, he ain't capable of doing this job. It's like, or he just actually or he just
Oh, you
actually
good? Yeah.
cares. Sorry,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No.
or he just actually cares that much, which that's what I want from my coach, right?
Yeah. I can say he cares a lot. He went to the school. He won a championship there. He like, and the fan base. They give him down the road, but you guys have no clue how much he loves the fan base.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I think he loves you guys too much.
You're right.
Nah,
You're
you know
right.
what I'm saying? But no, no, no. Like, he loves Big Blue Nation, and that was one of the things when we were on the visit. He was just talking about the world's greatest fans. You know, and I just think if Kentucky is probably does have the world's greatest fans, but you got to support your coach
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. You got to
Yes.
support him. You got to ride or die with him, regardless of whatever's happening. You know what I mean? Um, After the season, if you want to talk, hey, talk. But during the season, you got to ride with him. You know what I mean? If the fans wants this team to be successful, regardless of the situation, you got to ride with them, support them. You know, got to support them. And I'm not saying that the fans don't, but I'm just saying that some of the fans who are negative, they just need to just give it a shot, give it a chance. You know what I mean? You support the kids, you know, they play better. You know what I mean? You know, we were talking about like the Gonzaga game in Nashville when I was just like, I was there. Now keep in mind, I was there and I heard them boos, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fans have the right to do whatever they want to do.
Right.
But I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, do you think I'm just asking you, like for instance, if I came on your show, right? And I were telling you, hey, you suck, you're bad, this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna kick me off, basically, right? Like, you're gonna say, hey, you gotta go. Like, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to hear that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you think that these are kids? Like, do you think like, hey, that's gonna motivate them? You know, hearing boos like that? No, it's not. They're still kids at the end of the day. People can say, oh, they're getting money, this, that, and the other. Okay, they're getting money, but other people gets money on their jobs too. And if they're getting dogged and they're getting dragged, they're gonna feel the same way. At the end of the day, you know what I mean?
That's my biggest joke is like when it and again, fans are going to fan, and you know, and
Yeah,
there's moments to be critical, but the hate is what I despise. Like when you
right.
bring hate into it and you start saying just filth. That's what I'm saying. Criticize. Hey, this should happen. I love Pope. I've
Yeah,
criticized him. You know, when
right.
the UNC game, we
Mhm.
should. You can't go 10 minutes without scoring a field goal. I'm sorry.
Right,
Like
right,
you know, and I'm not a coach, but as a
right,
fan, you have a game that you can win at home. You can't do it. So
right.
I'm gonna voice my
And
frustration.
that's
But
just
then
part of it. And even with the players, like, hey, such and such had a bad game. I mean, it happens, but at the end of the day, I mean, that's fine. You can talk about, hey, maybe they got to sat them down or something like that. I get that. I get that piece of it, and that's part of it. You know what I mean? But like you said, the hate, like, you know what I mean? Just okay, they had a bad game. Hey, let's move on from it. Let's
mhm.
continue to support the team. You know what I mean? It's a bad game. Everybody can talk about, hey, it was a bad game. Okay, let's get to the next one. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But unfortunately, it wasn't like that this year for some fans. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say all
Yeah.
fans, but I will tell you this: the love outweighs the hate. You
Good.
know?
That's good to know. That's
Yeah,
good to know.
the
I'm assuming you're
loves
talking
outweigh.
from a parent and from Braden's perspective. So
Yeah,
that's
the
good to
love
know.
outweighs the hate. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. And it goes back to talking about recruiting. When you were asking me about like recruiting and things of that nature, that plays a part too. I've talked to other parents. It does play a part. Some kids don't have that thick skin. You got what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And some kids can't handle that moment or the pressure. They can't. And I know that for a fact. So, I mean, that does play a part as well. But I've taught my boys to have thick skin, regardless
Right.
of the situation. Like, hey, but like if you're not cut for it, yeah. I mean, it does play a part.
Yeah.
It
No.
really does.
And,
Yeah.
and that has been a message I've been trying to get out there. And you just it's just it's a new age, right? It's just what it is. The
Right.
era of social media, and once you're done with a basketball game, right,
Hmm.
wrong, or indifferent, you're going on your phone, and you shouldn't search your name, but you search your name because you want to see how people are talking about you, whether it's good or bad, right?
Right. Hmm.
And in a recruitment, you want to see what does the fan base think of you, like
Hmm.
you mentioned. And I think people get on their phones as a fan, and they say things that there's no consequence to, right? There's no
Right.
consequence to anything you say out there, other than
Right.
maybe you
Right.
get suspended from Twitter, which for a couple of days.
Right.
But it has a lasting effect, like you said. Like moms and dads are looking at this thing like, why would you play for a school with them talking about you like this, right? Or the other
Hmm.
or the other way,
Right.
where you can use it to your advantage of, oh, you got to go play for Kentucky. Like, look, listen, like there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people talking you up about how you're like go play for this school because they want you, truly want you there, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah,
but I truly hope that, like you said, the love outweighs the hate in that place. But you mentioned even kids playing the game, and you talk about coming on this show. Some of the folks out there that are saying stuff about the players. If you went to their job, as the bag guy at Kroger and be like, "Hey, you suck at your job," he would get emotional about it, right? It's like, but no one thinks about that, right? Whatever it is that you do, if someone came to your job and was like, you're punching those numbers and doing your computer work, whatever it is, mowing the lawn, like your lines are wrong, you suck. You're out of here. Sit the bench. Like you would get emotional about it,
right? Yeah.
But
that's just like for instance, I'm just using you as an example, but I know you're a good dude, so that's not. But I'm just saying. So let's just say, like for instance, like you were one of those guys talking that junk. Okay, and I knew it, right? I said, I know his son plays basketball. I'm gonna go to his game. Then I go to your son's game and start booing him. Then you get what I'm saying? Then you're gonna be like, "Hey man, why are you booing my kid?" You know,
and you're gonna be like, "How's it feel? How's it feel?" Right? Exactly.
Right. You know what I'm saying? But like, people don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not cool. But at the same time, I mean, we understand what comes with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I always tell my boys, I'm like, look, you look at the NBA players like LeBron James, like for instance, if you go on his social media, you're going to see that hate. So get used to it. Get used to it. You know what I mean? You get used to that. So
I might tell LeBron to stop flopping from time to time. I might tell him MJ's the GOAT and Kobe's number 2, you're number 3. So that one hit home to me. I'll be better about it. I'm sorry.
Hey, so you know what? I'll tell you this. I'll say MJ is number 1, LeBron's number 2. Then I'll go Kobe 3.
Okay.
I'll go Kobe 3.
That's
but
fair.
man, you made me think about something too. You made me think about something when you were talking about like the team and stuff. And this is what I was going to mention. I didn't get to say it though. But think back when the Lakers played the Pistons, right? And on paper, who did everybody think was going to win that series? You had Shaq, Kobe, who was it at that time? Karl Malone, Gary Payton. I
Was
can't
Fisher
remember.
on that team?
Fisher was probably Fisher, Fox. Everybody thought the Lakers. Who?
Yeah.
Everybody thought the Lakers were going to win, right? Who ended up winning that series?
And here comes Chauncey Billups and Rip Hamilton and
yeah. Nobody thought the Pistons was going to win the championship that year. Nobody thought that. Everybody thought the Lakers were going to win it. That's what I'm saying. And at that time, the Pistons, they didn't really have the quote unquote superstar, did they? They had a team. A team that played together, and hey, they won. You know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it too. I seen something down here that says Braden's about 200 pounds, 7'3" wingspan.
Absolutely ready.
Yeah, he came in at 173. Right now I think he's 195 or 196. Yep.
Woo! Thicker than grits. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And
he's still doing it. Yeah. He's still doing it.
Yeah, so it'll be easy 200 by the time he gets to the season. I saw Cam post that he's 210 at 6'8". And I think he's got a 7+ wingspan. All these guys that Pope went and got this year are long, right? They got a lot of length. And if you go look at the teams that were in the Final Four, and I put a funny tweet out there like, if a dude ain't 6'6" or better, I don't want him on my team because I see like you gotta be. All these guys are massive. Yeah. I mean, you saw the like when they got to the Final Four, and you're watching these teams play. I was like, oh, they're all huge. Like,
so you seen that too, huh?
Roster. They're all massive. Like these are grown men out here playing. Which if you go look at this guy we got today from Washington, Frank. I don't know how to
say his name. Yeah,
I'm not going to try to butcher his last name. But again, another dude who can play defense, go up there and get a shot, block a shot, play above the rim. So all these guys are big.
Yeah.
And this guy looks like he's 35, so I'm about that too.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
man.
But sir, I so much appreciate you coming on the show. I know we've been talking a little bit, maybe even inappropriately so last year when Kentucky was struggling, and we were having some injury problems. We were talking about Bray and his red shirt. You said, "Hey, we're just trusting the process." And
Right.
then as we got into this season, we were able to, or the postseason, able to get you on the show. Thank you for reaching out to Greg. I know hopefully I'm not the reason why he got pulled over.
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
But yeah, if you could text him, let me know. Send me the bill for the ticket. We'll cover it over here.
I got you. Hey, one thing I will tell you too, in Braden's process of, red shirt this year, I asked him one thing. I said, "What did you learn from this year? What is one thing that you can tell me that you learned?" He said, "One thing I will tell you that I learned is I will never take another basketball game for granted."
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. And I don't know how any other way to end it, sir. That's right there. That's the best way to end the show. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
You.
I would love to send you some All UK ball gear. No, you don't have to wear it, but I would love just to send you some stuff that we have here
Okay.
to say thank you. So you can DM me your address. I'd love to get some stuff out to West by God, Virginia, and have heavy repping the brand. But thank you so much for coming on the show, and we'll continue to talk.
Appreciate you for having me, man. It was an honor. It was fun, man. Maybe we'll do it again soon. Maybe we can get Greg on here. Maybe you can get him pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir.
Yeah, just hopefully text him. Hopefully he gets home. But yeah, absolutely. We do shows Wednesday and Saturday. Me and my son do the rando recap. So every basketball game we recap it. I would love to get you on there. Anytime, sir, you have a seat at the table.
Sounds good, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
All right, sir. You have a great night.
All right, you too. Have a good one, man.
You too. Wow, that was incredible. It started off a little shaky, to be honest, with the audio, with Mr. Williams, and then unfortunately, freaking got pulled over. I'm not sure where he was at, and I feel terrible about it. But I'm glad he was a trooper to come on. If you listen to how they think about Pope and this roster, now obviously they're going to be biased, right? I mean, their sons play for them. And they're going to have all the hope in the world to continue and a legacy of greatness in Kentucky basketball. But it seemed genuine to me. Like listen to Walt talk about Braden and that he's ready. Like he's going to be the dude. Don't worry about that 3 spot. Like he's got it. Not going to take another basketball game for granted. Just ready for the moment, stacking chips on his shoulder. You got to be excited. I hope at best, I hope this kind of just put some nerves at ease about the roster. Can we get one more? Like, can we get Milan out of the draft? Would that make us like a true force? Yes. But even if we went into the season right now with this roster, we have the pieces. You don't have to believe me, but just go back and look and say, hey, the potential is there. And when they play the ball games, maybe we look back on May 9th and go, dang, Greg Williams Sr., Walter Hawthorne, they were absolutely correct. This is a team, a force to be reckoned with, who's going to surprise some folks in the SEC and, nationally when it comes to when we get a tournament play. But thank you for everybody watching. I very much appreciate it. Sticking with us through even the technical difficulties and people getting pulled over. We normally do a last call for these shows. I'm by myself, so I will do the last call, and I'm going to focus on one of the most important days of the year. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, right? So a little story time. Last week, my wife goes out, gets a little self-care being done, right? Just things that she likes to do. So when she's gone, I'm like, I'm going to do all the things, get the dishes done, clean the kitchen, clean the living room, pick up the toys, vacuum, clean the outside. And she comes home and I'm like, look at all the stuff that I did. Right. And you know, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm a man. I can do all these things. And then she comes over, takes over. I'm getting ready to go to the gym. And I feel like I had just freaking done a full workout. I'm exhausted. Now I got to go do this thing. And it's like an appreciation factor of mamas do some serious work, whether they're stay at home or they also work. But all that to be said, go love on the moms in your life, whether it's your spouse or your mama or, you know, someone close to you that helped raise you. Go love on them and celebrate them tomorrow because it's an important day. And with that, I was just talking about you. Say what's up. What's up? But with that, thank you for joining me. Thank you, Mr. Williams, Mr. Hawthorne, for joining us. We'll get them back on again. Go Cats. Peace. Play the music.
On a whole nother level. Let's get it. Run it up. Check the scope. Money talk, money mo. Yeah. Main crew say they weed it. Kicking down the door. Run it up. Check the scope. Money talk, money mo. What? Main crew say they weed it. Kicking down the door. Let's go. And it's just the whole lane when I'm driving the machine.